Today, we're going to be playing some Power Wash Simulator, but more importantly, we're going to be reading some very intriguing Reddit stories. A few notable titles are Should We Cut Off My Husband's Friend? And my pregnant girlfriend showed me a video of her sucking off her ex. What should I do? Let's hop right into it, give some terrible advice, and hope you enjoy the gameplay. My girlfriend is pregnant with twins. We had an argument today, and she was mad and showed me a video on her phone sucking off her ex. Now what? My partner and I are on holiday for a long weekend. It'll be our last chance to go away before the babies come, so we headed off. 2 days in, we're having a fight. I'm upset, she's upset. She's upset that we aren't engaged yet. I have a plan to propose soon, not that I'd tell her. And says all kind of horrible things to me, like how she's unhappy and would leave me if she wasn't pregnant. Whenever we argue, which isn't very often, she gets really mean and says awful things like this, but she doesn't mean and soon takes back. Anyways, she was upset, said the above, and also that we're done, and she feels nothing for me. And she loved sucking off her ex, and that she watches a video of it to get herself off. Then proceeded to shove said video in my face. I left. I've been cheated on in every relationship, so it hurt really bad. She also knows that. I'm literally shaking just writing this, and it happened a solid 8 hours ago. She came and found me an hour after and apologized, said that it's only in her deleted folder. She doesn't really watch it, she just hadn't emptied the folder, and we tried to make the most of the rest of the day. I took her out to dinner, we had a good time and a nice meal, and it was a good date. The problem is, I can't get that brief 3-second video out of my head. All day, every couple of minutes, it pops into my head. I hate it, and I keep seeing it. On the way to dinner, at dinner, on the way back, in the elevator, and we get back to the hotel and we're still having a relatively good time. We've both apologized, and we're trying to move on. We're sitting on the couch, and she tries to make a move. Video pops in my head, so I disconnect. She tries again a few minutes later. Video pops in my head. Disconnect. Happens a few times, then I say I'm tired, I want to have a shower and go to bed. Shower, video. Teeth, video. Laying in bed, video. I can't sleep. I'm rolled into a ball, facing the wall, trying to sleep. She comes in, I say goodnight, and she rolls away and says goodnight. I tell her the issue I'm having. Now she's upset with me. Again. Because she shaved and put on a nice dress, all for nothing. That I'm not giving her emotionally or physically what she needs. This is fucked. I'm out in the living room because we don't want to share the same bed. I love her, and she's pregnant with our first children, twins, 16 weeks. We spent the day shopping for clothes and other baby items. I really wanted to spend my life with her, and she does too. At least she says so. I have no clue how to deal with the situation. Any advice in fixing this? Wow. No one just has that in their deleted. Phones clear out your deleted folder every 30 days. It should be gone by now, especially if it was an older relationship. 16 weeks since you, so I assume the video has been in the deleted since the 16 weeks. It makes me think that the video wasn't deleted. Alright, on to the next story. Am I overreacting for getting out of his car and Ubering home after a message popped up on the dash? I, 21 female, have been with my boyfriend, 22 male, for about a year and a half. We live in the same city, and I'm at his place basically every night. I really thought we were on the same page about everything until last night. We were driving to get food, and his phone was plugged into the car for the GPS. A message popped up on the screen from a girl's name I didn't know, and it literally said, "Are you coming over later? I miss you." I just froze. I didn't even yell, I just asked who that was, and he immediately ripped the cord out of the phone and started acting super jumpy. He told me I misread it, and that was actually a text from his sister asking about dinner. I told him his sister had a different name, and he just started raising his voice saying I'm paranoid and always looking for a reason to fight. He wouldn't show me the phone and kept saying I was invading his privacy by staring at his screen. He literally told me I'm being delusional and that my anxiety is ruining a good thing. I told him to pull over at a gas station, and I just got out and called an Uber because the gaslighting was making me feel like I was actually losing it. Now he's blowing up my phone saying I'm immature for jumping out of the car and that I'm too unstable to be in a relationship. Am I overreacting? Am I actually being too much? Or is he obviously cheating? Bro, if you do not drop this man quicker than a penny on a sidewalk, I don't know what to tell you. You're 20 years old, you've got the rest of your life ahead of you. Probably plenty of guys that wouldn't be using your insecurities against you in an argument or any time that they got in trouble. Drop and move on. GG, go next. That's all I gotta say. Am I overreacting for breaking up with my girlfriend and just co-parenting after she named our daughter without me? Throw away because my girlfriend knows my main. I, 28 male, and my girlfriend, 27 female, have been together 5 years. We had our daughter 6 months ago, and I need to know if I'm overreacting. When we found out she was pregnant, We made a mutual and clear agreement that no baby names unless we both liked it. We both said it out loud multiple times. That was the deal. I kept giving her names all throughout the pregnancy. She didn't like any of them. Every time she'd say, "It doesn't fit our daughter." That was it. No other reason. I'd ask what would fit, and she said she didn't know yet. In the hospital, a few hours after birth, while my girlfriend was filling out the birth certificate paperwork and still on pain meds, she wrote down her grandmother's name. I told her I didn't like it. It sounded old, like Mabel, Eleanor, Mildred. She said if I vetoed it, then she wouldn't give our daughter my last name. She didn't want to argue right after giving birth, so she just said that and kept filling it out. I didn't want to make a scene in the hospital with nurses there and coerce her because then I'd be a hypocrite, so I signed. I lost a lot of romantic feelings after that. I lost faith in her because she violated our agreement and basically threatened me into agreeing. I already bought a ring last year because I decided I wanted to marry her while she was pregnant. The plan was to propose in January for our anniversary. Our daughter was already born by then. After the hospital, I couldn't see myself proposing. I don't see a future anymore. Now we're both back at work. I still have 6 weeks of paternity leave I haven't used, and I can use leave for 6 months before it expires. I'm thinking of using that time to move out, and then we just co-parent. I'll be there for my daughter 100%, but I don't trust my girlfriend anymore, and I don't respect her like I did. Before this, I would have communicated any problem with her. Now I know I can't, and I don't even want to tell her the real reason for the breakup, because she'll play victim to our families and try to use them to get back with me. It'll just cause more problems. So, am I the asshole if I just break up and we co-parent? I feel like I'm not overreacting because she lied about me having a say and coerced me when I couldn't really fight back. But it's been 6 months and part of me wonders if I'm holding on to this too hard. Yeah. Either stay with her and communicate or co-parent and break up with her. But 6 months after it happened is way too long to make a decision. Pick one and stick with it. Alright, moving on. Husband, 28 male, wants to cut off lifelong friend after he made AI porn of me. How do we move forward? My husband has been best friends with this guy since childhood. They grew up down the street from each other. I've been with my husband for 8 years, and I've known this friend the entire time. A few nights ago, the friend's girlfriend called my husband and told him she went through his phone and found a large amount of AI-generated porn, including content of me. I didn't find out until the next morning. My husband showed me a screen recording she sent. He had taken photos directly from my Instagram and turned them into explicit clips. I felt completely sick. I asked my husband to take me to his house so I could delete everything. We picked up the girlfriend and went together. When we got there, he refused to come out. He made fake puking noises and slid his phone under the door instead of facing us. I went through his phone and deleted everything I could find. There were 20 plus images / videos of me, but also his mom, his sisters, including one who was visibly pregnant, his girlfriend, and other women. We deleted everything from his phone, cloud storage, and camera roll. Now I feel extremely violated. Looking back, there were red flags. He would push conversations towards my sex life, ask inappropriate questions, and even suggested I should sleep with other men. When he briefly lived with us, I thought I saw him peeking into our bedroom while I was changing. I never told my husband because I didn't want to damage their friendship. Now my husband wants to completely cut him off. I support that, but I'm unsure if there's any value in hearing him out first, or if it's better just to move on and have no further contact. There's also another layer. I work with him, and I actually helped him get this job a few years ago. Now I don't know how I'm supposed to interact with him at work, and I considered going to HR because I feel really uncomfortable being around him. I'm trying to figure it out. How to approach this decision about cutting him off versus hearing him out. How to support my husband through losing a lifelong friendship. And how to handle the workplace situation in a way that protects me without escalating things more than necessary. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, no, if you don't remove this guy from every facet of your life, you said he made AI-generated content of his sisters, one of them who is visibly pregnant. This is just disgusting. Do everything you can to protect yourself and your family. Never have contact with this weirdo again. Anyways, let's move on. Am I overreacting for not disclosing my meds to my mother-in-law? Last night, my husband and I were having dinner with his large family. I'm a veteran and have PTSD along with a bunch of other issues that arise from service. I take a bunch of medications daily, but there are a couple that are only meant for when I really need them. One of them is an antipsychotic. I learned last night it doesn't mix well with my epilepsy meds I take during the day. Earlier in the day, I took one knowing I would be a zombie because I was mid-panic attack and had tried everything else. I warned my husband ahead of time that I would most likely be out of it when we went, but I don't think he really has seen what that medication does during the daytime. I usually take it at night if I need it. We all went to a kids' sports game and then back to their house for dinner. When we got there, I was feeling drowsy and not functional, so I went and laid down in one of the bedrooms after about 30 minutes so I wouldn't make a fool of myself. My sister-in-law came in and checked on me. Then she told my husband, and he did too, and brought me a plate to eat in there. When I came out feeling a bit better, I word vomited why I was feeling that way, but I think I blamed it mostly on my epilepsy meds, but I'm not sure because I was out of it. I've always felt like if I say antipsychotic, people would think I'm insane and can't trust me with my niece's life decisions or otherwise. I learned on the car ride home that my husband had gone into detail about my medication, trying to explain it to them. I felt a little bit violated, but understood what he was trying to do. My anxiety makes me think that everyone thinks I'm lying all the time for some reason, a leftover symptom from my childhood. But I really love and respect my in-laws, so I texted my mother-in-law and clarified that I was close to a panic attack earlier, took my PTSD meds, and had a bad interaction with my epilepsy meds. I also thanked her for having us over, and we would love to host next time. She texted back, "No problem, it was fun." But I'm still stewing on whether or not I should have just laid everything out from the get-go and told them what was making me feel not well. I don't understand the story. I think you're fine. Maybe a little bit of embarrassment for trying to cover your ass and saying this is what happens when it mixes with my antipsychotic, but I think it's a win, right? You guys plan to be together forever, so family and in-laws are eventually going to see that happen anyways. 30-year-old male called racist for not letting guests into my building. I live in a large apartment building with tenants primarily made up of young professionals and students from the HBCU campus nearby. I sometimes anticipated the building feeling like a dorm at times, reviews and testimonies from past residents, and just common sense. But it's a nice building and very convenient for me, and it hasn't bothered me that much. The building management definitely has their hands full trying to manage this, hiring security on the weekends and sending out frequent reminders about quiet hours, guest policies, limits and sign-in requirements, etc. For example, last week, the building sent out a reminder that only the receptionist should let guests in and that all guests need to be registered and sign in, a policy in the lease agreement. I arrived back at the building at around 11:45 p.m. and found 8 college-age students trying to get in and the receptionist not at her desk. I asked if any of them had a key. They said no, they're waiting for a friend, so I patted my pockets and said shoot, pretending like I didn't have a key either, so that I could leave and go walk a lap in order to not be responsible for letting in 8 random people who don't live in my building without a receptionist to check them in. They were gone from the entrance when I came back around, but unfortunately, when I called the elevator, they were all crammed in there with a tenant who had let them in. The receptionist still wasn't there, and they were going to different floors, so it wasn't their friend they mentioned. When I got on the elevator, they started laughing, saying, "How'd you get in?" And as they got off, they said, "That racist shit, be real." Feeling like an asshole, because I can understand how it looks from their perspective, but policy or not, I stand by not letting 8 strangers into my building, no matter race. Yeah, I mean, the question is, was it prejudice that didn't let them in, or was it just because it's 8 random strangers? I don't know, I probably would have let them in. It's almost midnight, everyone's trying to go to bed, not that big of a deal. But, like you said, they have to check in with the receptionist, so. Am I overreacting for debating leaving my relationship after my birthday weekend? I, 31 female, have been with my boyfriend, 35 male, for over 2 years. This past weekend was my birthday. Happy birthday. And we planned a trip up north with our dogs. I have a lot of childhood trauma around my birthday and also had a miscarriage after my first birthday spent with him, so it's been a difficult day for me. Originally, it was supposed to be a 1-day trip, but I suggested getting an Airbnb so we could actually relax and spend more time there. I ran it by him first, gave him options, and he agreed. I ended up paying for the Airbnb, and we went up Thursday night and came back Saturday, my actual birthday. The whole weekend was very go with the flow. Normally I'm okay with that, but I was hoping my actual birthday would feel at least a little intentional. The day before my birthday, he told me he didn't get me anything and that the trip was my gift. I'm not someone who expects anything big, but I was hoping for something small and thoughtful, like a card or flowers. What really bothered me was that he said he knew this might be a problem, which made me feel like he knew it mattered and just chose not to do it anyway. He suggested we walk around gift shops so I could pick something out. I tried, but most of it was tourist stuff I didn't want. I did find a couple of things I liked that were around $40 or $50, but he made comments about them being too expensive or acted annoyed. So I ended up not getting anything because I felt uncomfortable even asking. Later the same day, he bought a roughly $80 part for his race car. On my actual birthday, he made me breakfast, which I did thank him for, but that was basically it. No card, no cake, no planned meal, nothing that made it feel like a birthday. We drove a few scenic spots for short stops, and then headed home. At one point, I asked him to take a photo of me with our dogs. I'm a photographer and rarely get photos taken of myself, and he forgot completely. When I brought it up, he said, "Oh, I forgot," and kept driving. On the way home, I mentioned stopping for a slice of cake, and he said he was planning on getting one later, which honestly felt like an afterthought. and something that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't said anything. When I tried to talk to him about how I felt, things got worse. Instead of hearing me out, he immediately got defensive and turned everything into, well, what about me? He kept saying the weekend was stressful for him, that he was trying his best the whole time, and that me wanting more was basically asking too much. He also said that me suggesting the Airbnb threw a wrench in his plans, even though I checked with him beforehand and he agreed to it. At one point, he told me this is how he's done things for 35 years and it's the best of his ability, and that I should just accept that. When I tried to explain my side, he ended up calling me an ungrateful B-word and slammed the door in my face. Since then, every time I try to explain that I appreciate the trip, but it didn't feel like a birthday, he circles back to how stressed he was, how he did his best, and how I'm wrong for being upset. I'm not asking for anything extravagant. I just wanted to feel a little thought and effort put into me on my birthday, and instead, I left feeling like an afterthought and then get shut down for bringing it up. Side note to add, I've always been the person who goes above and beyond for people on their birthdays. Not always by spending money, but with effort. For his birthday last year, he didn't want to go out anywhere. Didn't want people over. I originally planned on his family coming over for dinner, but as soon as he told me that, I told them that plans changed and had them not come. I made him a steak dinner, homemade cheesecake, and got him hockey tickets. And we just hung out at home exactly what he wanted. It wasn't hard or stressful. I was excited to do those things for him and wished someone would put that kind of thought into me. Am I overreacting for thinking about breaking up and moving back home after this weekend? Yeah, no. Get rid of this guy. You ended up paying for the Airbnb, so it doesn't even make sense why he would be upset about that. He's acting as if you being in his presence is the biggest gift he could give you. I think you break up with him, move home, look for a new man, 31, try not to waste any more time. Am I the asshole for canceling on my mom's Easter plans? I, 26 female, recently bought a house 3 weeks ago with my husband. Previously lived with my parents for 2 years with him while we saved up. My parents have been kind enough to come on Saturdays to help. We've always expressed our gratitude for their help when they do come. Today is Easter, and a few days out, we had some plans change. We wanted to have Easter with my husband's sister and dinner at my parents' house. Yesterday being Saturday, my parents came to help. My mom was not in the best of moods and decided to pick a fight with my husband and rub me into it. She frequently tries to peg me against him. It ended up in quite a strange fight between all of us, and my husband and I didn't speak for the rest of the day. It was terrible and nerve-wracking for me. Also, during this, I am getting up at 5:30 and getting home at 6 p.m., Monday through Friday for work. I'm exhausted. And then this fight between all of us. I decided to tell my mom that my husband and I would like to stay home. Told her we wanted to spend some time, just the two of us, as we've been very stressed and this fight also brought out things. My husband also did not feel comfortable going because of the fight. She is now extremely upset that we canceled, saying we are ungrateful and that she raised me poorly. Am I the asshole? I truly just wanted a break. I love my parents and am appreciative of what they do, but I'm so exhausted. No, you don't have to apologize to anyone. Your mother picked a fight and started issues the day before Easter. You don't want to have to deal with that. You're exhausted, you're renovating, you're working. You're fine. Don't overthink it. Just miss an Easter. She'll have an attitude for a month or two. Other than that, you guys will be good. Alright, that's the first Reddit story video in this playlist. Trying something new. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the stories and the gameplay. I'm thinking of switching it up and going back with some old school Call of Duty, maybe some Modern Warfare 2, maybe some Minecraft in there too. That sounds like a good time. Some fun stuff to play. But I hope you all enjoyed. Have a good one. Thank you so much.